Wow. Good morning, Malcolm Nance.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh,
Don't mind me.
yeah.
I'm just a tweeting.
Yes, wow, he really does. So he tweeted at 3 this morning, bashing CNN. The word is that he apparently is very annoyed that he's being blamed for the bombs. So he just tweeted, Republicans are doing so well in early voting and at the polls, and now this bomb stuff happens, and the momentum greatly slows. News not talking politics. Very unfortunate what's going on. Republicans, go out and vote. Wow. 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 And
Yeah.
we've had our, 12th this morning? Cory Booker and James Clapper being the last two, correct?
Yep. Yeah, we're up to bomb number 12. And my assessment is that if they'll target these individuals, then we have between 15 and 20 bombs probably inside the pipeline. Some prominent Democrats have not yet received any. There's a rumor that, maybe there's one out there in Dianne Feinstein world, but we haven't seen Nancy Pelosi. We haven't seen
Yeah.
Elizabeth Warren. We haven't seen some of the others. And I'd like to call attention. There's a political action committee called future45.com that is running a commercial that I've been warning about that portrays progressives and Democrats and any, Republicans who are opposed to Trump as dangerous, violent gangs.
Mm.
And these ads are everywhere. Everywhere I've been in the country, I've seen these ads, but every person who was sent a bomb, for the most part, is in this ad.
I,
And,
Malcolm,
Miss Ocasio-Cortez and others. So these people have a mindset, have a terrorist, have a target list in their head, and this individual went down it. This is a serious bombing campaign that we're in right now.
Malcolm, from the amount of bombs that we're talking about and what you just said, do you feel like it is a group or do you feel like it's an individual?
Mm. It feels like an individual who had a lot of time on his hands, who created a bomb assembly line.
Yeah.
Usually, we call these facilities, any improvised explosive device facility, a bomb factory. And that's what I've been warning on television the last 2 days. Let's not get too caught up in the motivations of this individual. The target set we can't ignore anymore. But the motivations of the individual, until we get him, until we secure this bomb factory, you know, this stuff may have been low grade explosives, but he intends these things to kill the individuals who open them, whether it's
Well,
the mailman or
yeah.
secretary.
At the
We've
press,
got to secure it.
thank you. That the press conference yesterday, Malcolm, he said that bomb squads have been treating the devices as live. And I heard somebody make that very point that what about these poor postal workers that don't have Secret Service and don't have protection? I mean, you're right. We've got to catch this guy.
These
Um,
devices will blow up and kill the individual who opens them. They'll blow the fingers off. They'll put shrapnel into the face and to the chest. There's washers in there. There's broken glass in there. These things are designed to kill. Just because he's an amateur bomber and didn't do it very well doesn't mean that one of these won't go off. Jim Kavanaugh, ATF agent who's on TV with me all the time, he says they're viable. Jim Kavanaugh tells me they're viable. They're viable.
yeah. James Clapper said this morning he sees a clear pattern in the bomb threats. He said anyone who has been publicly been a critic of Trump needs to be on extra alert. But that's
Yep.
again, you've been a counterterrorism expert for how long? And this is the point of terror. And it is interesting. I
Absolutely.
texted you yesterday, as I'm sure everyone in the world that knows you did, asking because we start to get paranoid on our side, right? We're like, is this Russia? Is Russia behind this? Is this,
No,
But
no,
yeah, but you
yeah,
said no.
no. This is an American,
Yeah.
and this is someone in the United States who has taken the list that Trump has developed on the stump, and that you hear in right wing television and radio, and they've weaponized it. It's as simple as that. There's no external factors here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is amazing because we obviously we have a conspiracy theorist in the Oval Office that this whole, to senators on down are using this liberal hoax thing. Like, liberals are sending bombs to themselves. I mean, it's extraordinary, right? Lou Dobbs, Rush Limbaugh, you name it.
Yeah, well, go
Don
look at the
Jr.
tweet I just sent.
Yeah. What'd you say?
And well, first you got to read Trump's amazing tweet about bomb in quotes
Yes.
like it's not real.
Yeah.
And this is dangerous. We are in the middle of a terrorist bombing campaign. I don't know how many devices are out there. That puts me into panic mode. FBI, BATF, U.S. Marshals, everyone out there is hunting for these devices. And Donald Trump just tweeted essentially that he put it in quotes, so it's like a hoax.
Yeah.
And of course, I had
I
something
said
to say
that.
about that.
Yeah, I said that yesterday, Malcolm. I said, how long before he starts calling it a Democrat hoax, right? Like Trump Russia, and here we are. It's pretty
Too,
close.
too late. He just didn't use the word hoax, but he will by the end of the day,
Yeah.
based on this tweet. I'm sure you'll read it in a minute.
Okay, Malcolm, a bunch of other stuff I want to get to, obviously,
All right,
because
let's go on to that.
Vladimir Putin, of course, laughing at us again, saying he is amused by a report claiming that Russian intelligence listens in on Trump's personal phone calls with friends and associates. He suggested, of course, it's fake news, is what he said. Where have we heard that? Yeah.
Yeah, well, of course he'd be amused because I'm sure the reports that he reads in the morning outlining the details of Trump's phone calls make him laugh. I would be amused too. You know, in my community, when we collected intelligence like this, we laughed and laughed at the stupidity of the person who didn't know we were monitoring their
Well,
communications. Vladimir Putin understands how to play this game. He's played Donald Trump.
right.
He's now making him feel comfortable to continue using the freaking telephone.
Well,
And it's a national security risk to all of us.
Of course. But Malcolm, what I was going to say is, obviously you read the original New York Times piece. I mean, we have intercepts. That's how we know, right? It's just that, but his own intelligence professionals are not going to come out and say the president's lying again when he denies this story, right? Because, I mean,
Yes.
but obviously we have intercepts. That's how we know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, there are more than just the U.S. intelligence agency. We use agencies all around the world, some who have incredibly good access into Russia and to people, their spies and others, and they tell us. And, for the most part, you don't even have to wait for those spies. We know this man is incompetent. He's incompetent. He has compromised the security of the United States. We are in danger because he doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut. He doesn't know how to handle classified. He doesn't give two flips about the security of the country.
Yeah.
And he's a tyrant king,
Yep.
like John Adams says, that he comes in and he thinks that he should be King Donald the First. And he's behaving like it. And this is the man who accused Hillary Clinton of abusing classified.
Yeah.
He is deliberately and openly using these things
Yep.
because he doesn't care. He's too stupid to care.
Yep.
It's really that simple.
Well, yeah, here's your tweet. You said this man is not a real president. Trump has surrendered his role to defend America. A terror wave is underway. He resorts to being a whiny, petulant baby who burned the nation down rather than protect us from a terrorist. He's the oligarch/tyrant John Adams warned of. Hashtag vote. Yeah, I mean, Malcolm, boy, oh boy. By the day, it gets more terrifying as you keep talking about the need to vote, right?
We are in serious trouble here.
Yeah.
If in 11 days, and every person who is listening to the sound of my voice, that means you already are aware of the political scene. You already are aware of how important things are. It's not you. I know you, the listeners, are going to vote. It's your idiot friends out there, like the 5 guys in my barbershop yesterday, all of whom were saying like, well, I don't know what's going on with Trump, but they knew what was going on with Kanye West and Trump.
Yeah.
And people need to go find another individual and you take them on election day with you and you ensure that they vote. You get them to vote now. If you voted early already, it is your job to get more people now to vote. We are in the vote of America's life.
And
Steve Schmidt said it yesterday. I've been saying it for months. This is the most important election in the history of the United States. It will determine whether we remain a democracy or become an autocracy.
Malcolm, obviously these frantic efforts at voter suppression in state after state, they are obviously in a panic, which I know, again, as you keep saying, we got to blow out the margins. I mean, do not let them depress the vote and think, oh, it's already hacked, it won't matter. We have to turn out in such numbers, and you have to fight for your right to vote, right? I mean, there is story after
Absolutely.
story of the voter suppression techniques that they're using. I don't know if you saw this Axios piece. Midterms 2018, cybersecurity and Russian hacking remain a major concern. An investigation into the U.S. election system reveals frightening vulnerabilities at almost every level. What is your take on that?
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, what's your take on that?
Well, my friend Leah McElraith, who's on Twitter, tried to vote in Texas yesterday. And she showed photographs of her voting machine. She voted straight down ticket, and it changed her vote for Beto O'Rourke to Ted Cruz.
Yep.
She had to go back through 16 pages to go back and reset it. And only after she had reset it and voted for Beto O'Rourke twice did the machine take it.
Wow.
We saw in North Carolina, there are people out there who are taking photographs of this, that they vote down ticket Democrat, and it comes out on the last panel staggered to Republicans with a few Democrats in between there. Look, we have to blow out the margins of cheating here. And all that, I am begging every person, if you have early voting and you have not gone out, don't wait till tomorrow.
Right.
Go today. Right. If you go tomorrow, bring a group of friends and blow these margins out.
Yeah.
This is no longer a game.
This Vox story, Democrats and Republicans in both the House and Senate this year introduced nearly a dozen bipartisan bills and measures to secure the country's election system. The bill seemed like a sure bet for passage. Then in mid-August, the markup for the bill was abruptly canceled. Mystery solved when it was announced the shelving came at the behest of the White House.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, they understand the value of keeping people from voting on the Democratic side. It's like that commercial, that fake commercial that was made up of the old people telling young people not to vote.
Yeah.
And then they say at the end of the commercial, we vote every election, every time, forever. For dog catcher, they come out and vote. And, it's like Michelle Obama said, this is like letting your grandmother choose what kind of clothes you're going to wear to the club, or your crazy uncle choose the pictures that are allowed on your Instagram.
Right.
18 to 29-year-old Americans do not vote. 16% of them are expected to vote this time. We need them in this election. Right? I mean, come on. I've only spent my whole freaking life defending you to get you to do one thing in your life. One thing. This is the one time you need to do it.
I don't know at what point you're in your Twitter fight with George Papadopoulos, but he argues that
he surrendered.
He may have been entrapped. I guess he testified yesterday, right? He later revealed his interaction with the professor, right? I mean, which we all know this is how the investigation started, not the Steele dossier. But what is he doing, right? I mean, he's already going to prison for lying to the FBI.
Well, during Politicon, I spent some quality time with Carter Page, and you notice Carter Page is not in prison yet.
Yeah.
But George Papadopoulos is.
Yeah.
That's because whatever Page did, it involved full cooperation, right? Papadopoulos is trying to get a job at Fox News. He attacked me, David Corn, John Brennan, Jim Clapper on Twitter, and tried to get fights. And the only thing you can respond with is a convicted felon says what?
There you go. Quickly, Malcolm. I guess we're running out of time. Bob Mueller has obtained new evidence indicating that Roger Stone had direct knowledge of WikiLeaks' hack of the Clinton email, John Podesta's emails before they were publicly released. In particular, Mueller and his team investigating whether the Jerome Corsi, this conspiracy nut, acted as a conduit between WikiLeaks and Stone. How cooked is Roger Stone, do you think?
I think that Roger Stone, Julian Assange, are going to be, and WikiLeaks as an organization will be in the next round of indictments. I call these the bridge personalities, and maybe Cambridge Analytics, the groups which took hostile information and then brought it into the Trump sphere.
Yeah.
And, they're easy ones. They're all getting indicted.
Yeah. Can I just ask you one last thing? All the horrible stories are melding together. On Thursday, Saudi Arabia's public prosecutor announced the murder of Jamal Khashoggi had been premeditated, suggesting the regime was revamping its official story one more time. The blame continues to be directed to General Ahmed al-Asiri, a high-level intelligence chief. Al-Asiri has deep connections to Team Trump. The major general met with top members of the Trump transition team, including Michael Flynn. There's that name again in the Saudi Arabia story.
and they essentially sat down before the election to determine whether the United States would invade or attack Iran. And Steve Bannon was in these meetings. These are meetings that Steve Bannon should have had nothing to do with. All right, so this tells you where the level of dirt here. Look, Al-Asiri is going to be assigned to the head of intelligence down with the governor in the city of Mecca, where no one can get to him. And he's going to be owed, the king will owe him a favor, just like he'll owe everybody who killed Khashoggi a favor.
Yep.
So that he's tied to Team Trump at the hip is
Wow.
no surprise
All right.
whatsoever.
Out of time. Wear blue for 72. Starting
Wear blue.
March for Democracy on November 3rd with us, and then wear blue all the way up to the. Let's visualize the blue wave we're going to create. Right.
Vote now.
Yeah. Yep. And take peoples with you that have never voted before. Malcolm.
Yep.
Thanks, honey, for giving us the 10 minutes a day you're not on television. I appreciate it.
All right. Bye bye.
All right. Bye now.